Greetings all. I'm Mrs. Raji Patterson, and I am the Director of Women Empowerment of ACCP. First of all, I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation and coming to our pre-conference meeting. I would like to give a small introduction about ACCP. The Alliance Creative Community Project is a non-governmental UN-accredited ECOSOC member organization that was established in 2008. ACCP interacts freely and works together with communities towards the promotion of peace, harmony, and sustainable environments. ACCP is conducting an international peaceful coexistence summit today. We are having our second advisory meeting in preparations for this conference. And we are going to discuss the topic of the need to care for the elders and the community to build peace. Thanks again for joining us today. I now invite our President, His Excellency John Nana Yo Ogre, to deliver the welcome speech.
Thank you very much, Raji. Thank you so much for your warm introduction. Good morning from Canada. May I use this opportunity to address our honorable guest of honors, Your Royal Highness Ni Ahine Nuhum III, Abola Manche and Asafuache, Atofuache of Ghana State, Ghana, Mr. Garnet Manen, former counselor and community leader in Canada, Dr. Gerald Fiestin, Dean and Chief Academic Officer, Visiting Professor, Harvard University, USA, Mr. Paul Baranitharan, Director of Jasmine Counseling Center, Indian, Mr. Augustine Jagasoti, Settlement Counselor, Canada, ACCP executives, all media houses, invited guests, all protocol observed. I am John Nanaya Ochre, President of Alliance Creative Community Project. On behalf of the entire ACCP executives, we are pleased to have you all join us in our second advisory online meeting on peaceful coexistence towards sustainable development, with a topic agenda of the need to care for the elders and the community to build peace. I strongly believe that improving lives and implementation of standard practices on the need to care for the elderly persons in our communities would enable us achieve greater learning outcomes on peace. We need to encourage the security agencies, government officials, traditional authorities, and religious leaders to use all available tools to develop new ideas that bring peace and harmony in our societies. I will bring my message to the end. I encourage each and everyone to spread the message of peace. By doing so, we will all live to benefit and live in harmony. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mrs. Rajani Iqbal from United Kingdom. Mrs. Rajani Iqbal is a social activist and a member of the Center for Community Development and is involved in many projects for the welfare of the war widows in Sri Lanka. She has held different positions and helped the community with her wisdom and skills. She was appointed as the Secretary of the Association of Tamil-speaking Elders of South End in the United Kingdom and continues to attend to matters relating to the many Tamil-speaking elders living in Southend-on-Sea in England. Let's welcome Mrs. Rajni Iqbal.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me to speak the need to care for the elders in peace building efforts. According to a baseline report of the World Health Organization dated 17th December 2020, at least 14% of the population of the world are persons of over 60 years of age. Among them, more than 142 million are unable to meet their daily basic needs. Most of these persons cannot be called healthy persons as their functional ability is limited. The WHO has planned to make 2021 the goal for improving the functional ability of most of these elders. By functional ability, the WHO means the following: their ability to meet their basic needs independently, their ability to learn and make decisions, their ability to move about independently, their ability to build and maintain relationships, and their ability to contribute to society. The report says that Ireland, Mexico, and Vietnam are the countries which have been successful in starting healthy aging initiative in each of these areas. From these facts, it appears that in most countries, including those in the developed countries, not enough is being done for the welfare of the elders. In the circumstances, the efforts being made by Alliance Creative Community Project of Canada has to be appreciated. They appear to have initiated a process of bringing into focus the need to care for the elders, to make them partners in the peace building process. Though the WHO states that currently only 14% of the world population consists of elders, it is a fact that the number of elders in the world is increasing steadily. That is due to the advances that have been made in the field of medicine, which has made almost any illness curable. However, in countries such as Sri Lanka, conflicts have led to many young persons to lose their lives, leaving behind an old and in the infirm with no one to care for them. Consequently, in the northern and eastern parts of Sri Lanka, there is a large number of elders who have no one to care for them. It is likely that this situation is the same in many other countries which have gone through similar turbulent period in the past. The valuable experiences of such elders which could be used in peace building efforts remain untapped. We tend to view someone who is over 65 as old. In our culture, such an elder may be sidelined, disrespected on a daily basis, or generally ignored by a family and society. Unlike much of the rest of the world, we don't always view the experience and accumulated knowledge of such elders as something to be treasured and availed of. Because of this, many seniors view themselves inferior and their lives get negatively impacted. Ultimately, their overall well-being gets neglected. They start to accept loneliness as their norm and stop seeking connection with their communities that take a toll on their mental and physical health. The problem of elders being left alone and uncared for prevails in some developed countries too. One way to combat this is to understand their value through kindness and listening to their views on current matters. Interaction with elders and the creation of intergenerational program will certainly contribute to peace building in communities. Older people have stories to tell relating to a variety of subjects, such as parenting, self-help, cultivation activities, and even on community development issues. Often, the opinion of the elderly can be based on their own personal experiences. Interaction with them can provide valuable insight for any peace building efforts. During our busy schedules, one should simply take a moment or two to speak to someone older with a bit more compassion. It would be good if one could once, in a way, speak to one's elderly neighbors and ask them how they are doing. They may have a lot to offer, and one must have the patience to listen to their experiences. They may have had valuable ideas and experiences that could be used in peace building efforts. No presentation on the role elders could play in peace building efforts would be complete without referring to the Organization of Elders, which was formed in 2007 by the late Kofi Annan. That organization of elders has elders who had held key positions in world organizations. They continue to play a key role in peace building in many countries in the world. The elders in any community could do likewise in their own countries. If only they could be organized, promoted, and made use of in the process of peace building in their respective countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Rajani Iqbal, for sharing the very important information with us. And she also touched the issues in the Asian countries as well. And the common problem we find among the elders is the loneliness. There's a huge issues going on, but we have the responsibilities to address this issue. So thank you so much, Mrs. Rajani Iqbal. Now, next I'm inviting Mr. Garnet Manning, former councillor of Brampton, Canada, and a community leader. He's also a founder and chairperson of the Garnet Manning Youth Leadership Foundation. He has several community recognition awards for his services. Let's welcome Mr. Garnet to this floor now.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair today. What a tremendous honor and delight it is for me to be here this morning, to be one of the participants of this outstanding gathering of people of kindness and goodwill, especially in the focus and peace. It is said that a senior is that individual you knew when he or she were in his prime, his or her prime, except the body just doesn't want to keep up with all the dynamics, the intelligence, the vigor, and the smarts that is in that package. It is extremely important for us not to underestimate our seniors, and unfortunately society oftentimes in some societies, and I think culturally, we tend to believe that our seniors, they do need the help, but we need to see the necessary help. But there are times we sometimes underestimate their tremendous value. There are two valuable resources in our community. Two of the most valuable resources in our communities are seniors and our youth. And our first speakers did touch on the intergenerational interaction. And I believe that is fundamentally one of the most important aspects of how we can empower and enhance the lives of our seniors. I have had the privilege to serve in the city of Brampton, one of Canada's 9th largest cities, as the city councillor. And within my tenure, I have requested and was appointed by my peers to sit on the Brampton Seniors Council and to pretty much be the liaison officer, but yet a member of the Brampton Seniors Council, which is a formal board which address issues pertaining to seniors in every aspect of their lives. The city of Brampton, during my time and still is, believe in the formality of addressing seniors' issue as an important component to our city development. And so I had the opportunity to sit for 3 years on that council, and we addressed every aspect of seniors' lives, their isolation, seniors abuse. That's a big thing, and that's something we need to talk about some more. That's a big thing, seniors abuse, which actually comes from family members where seniors are living in those homes. But one of the things we created was an initiative. We started called it it was called the Intergenerational Conference. The Intergenerational Conference was premised on the fact that seniors and youth need to come together. These are two valuable resources, but there's a gap. There's a cultural gap, there's a societal gap, and we need to make the concerted effort to ensure that the twain comes together in a mutually beneficial way. Not in a way that the seniors are pitiful of Uncle John and Grandpa John and Grandma Jane. No, the seniors are not looking for sympathy and pity. They're looking to utilize the value they brought to society. And so we would gather with these, we brought these seniors together once every quarter. This was supported by high schools and all the seniors clubs. So we're talking about 1,000 people, high school students primarily, and seniors. Most of the facilitators were students and seniors, and we would have a banquet style luncheon or breakfast. And they would gather, the tables would be mixed, diverse, not only male, female seniors, but also various culture. As you know, Brampton, the city of Brampton is one of the most cultural diverse city in Canada, with over 66 different culture and 120 languages spoken every day in that city. And so in those gatherings, we not only, as was said, of the seniors share some of their experiences with these young people. We do play games and make the day fun. We've done many workshops in that settings of helping our seniors to understand social media to an extent. That is one of the biggest way of mitigating isolation and loneliness for seniors. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those kind of social medias within a controlled and safe. It's not a reckless initiative because we know all the dangers that lurks in terms of allowing our vulnerable seniors to be exposed. But all those measures are taken into place and able to help our seniors. That one day event once a quarter was just tremendous, empowering and exciting for our seniors, young people learned a lot. So we take it beyond just the gathering of the conference and made it an initiative, which was part at the time when I was there, the city of Brampton community service initiative and Parks and Rec. So under that covering of community service, which entail Parks and Rec, Seniors Council, all these other community development groups, we were able to create that on an ongoing basis. Now, from a bigger scale, an idea like this should be, and I know many churches in Brampton has taken that idea and utilize it within their own settings. But I think on a bigger scale, if we look at the value of that, that's where I believe government should put money in, charitable organization should put money in, and it should be an international thing based on the premise that our seniors are extremely valuable. They're the one with the experience, the foundation, and our young people are the ones that need the mentorship and need life skills and needs advices from them. So I do appreciate having this opportunity to speak. I know my time is short, but it is from this basis and this premise, I believe that's one of the aspects, the dynamic aspect of helping our seniors to live empowerment and to be and enhance their life as they give back, and at the same time learn and grow and live long and healthy. That's one of the aspects that I believe would be key. So, Madam Chair, thank you very much. I'm tremendously honored to be here. I will be sticking around for a little bit, and then I will scoot off as I have a busy day in front of me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Garnett, for your meaningful presentation. And he also touched the issues of isolation and senior abuse, which comes from the own family members, culture gap, etc. Thank you so much again. Next, I shall call upon Mr. Paul Paranidharan, Director and founder of Jasmine Counseling Center from India. Mr. Paranidharan holds 4 master's degrees and worked in different countries as a project manager and legal advisor. He provides counseling and legal help for those who needed it, and he is very active in social services. He brings together lawyers and youth together to help the community. Mr. Paranidharan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Clear now?
Good. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm very thankful to ACCP members, honorable members. They're giving a good opportunity to talk with all my friends. At the same time, I'm honoring and all the chief guests also. Okay, nowadays we are facing some, I just have to explain some practical source only. Previously, and the past things, we are living in the forests, and the time we are only joining together in the various family on enjoy the natural source. We're getting all the opportunities, no education, natural source. We're getting the good opportunity to living with enjoy. Physically, we are very fit. We are enjoying each and everything. What are the facilities you are getting? After that, new technology, science, education, source, automatically it will improve the pollution, totally pollution, polluted, corrupted, everything. So not only old age, that young age also totally the peoples are eradicating all the source, money source, value source. For example, I'm telling one real thing in India. If you get the good opportunity to educate employments and source, natural source, transportation, commercial, trading, everything, it's a very good, he is a very well-known person, you will get earning person. Government plan to take all the money through GST, through the poverty line. You take all the money, income tax, wealth tax, compulsory, no employment, total source they are eradicating. Finally, what will happen? They are fighting with the family. They are totally, they are not getting any other money, no enjoyment. They are only for money only. 28% they are the government totally taken. Liquor and then fine, tax, totally he is not earning properly. So finally, what will happen? They are moving through the money only. They are not care about their old age. In the old age, only the parental And the childhood period, parental giving the good health and good growing to give the sibling. And then but son and daughter, they are giving more care and food, health, education, whatever it may be. After that, they are moving through the money earning purpose only. They are not getting the properly. So on the time, they are leaving the old age person. He is leaving the totally leaving. Government is not giving the proper take care of the all the person, but we only take care of our parents. We only take care of this society. We only take care of the society people. Nowadays, seeing number of beggars is there, total number of homage is there. The old age is in India, in each and every areas in my local area, there are the 25 old age is there. Why the old age are day by day they are improving? So what the reason? The government also not giving the proper source to the people, and that family members also not giving the proper source to their parents. For example, my father is a given. He's giving good educate me, and I am also proper jobs and each and everything. I'm getting a lot of source in my life. But even I'm not care than my father. 2 years back, I lost my father because what the reason why we are not take care of our old age person. Totally, we are our point of view. Totally, we are running, go away from our source of our family. Totally leave the. We are also not care of the old age person. At the same time, government also totally care of the all the persons. Not never care about this. Nowadays, that biovirus is going on. The biovirus, what the reasonably it is going on is the reducing the population. So totally we are corrupted, eradicated. Totally we are collapsed. So what we'll do is our source. We have to give the proper care to our parents individually. Then finally you have to take care of the all the person. Humanitarian attitudely they are giving the ACCP also is the number of project is there. They are giving the proper care to the all the person, all the old age person. We are giving the individually we are the care about the person. After that, the government, you will never expect the government to do anything. You are not totally. It is not proper. But we only take care. How to give this a peace? We have to peace. We have to educate the people. We have to educate the all the young person. We have to educate the health, education. That corruption is avoid the no corruption. Totally we are abusing through these other societies. So what I have to, we have to build yourselves in the different way. We have to give the more care to the old age person. In international law, what it says and peace and security. What the peace and what the security? If there are any other own country municipal law is what is this? The law says only the law and order and crime. But international laws, what is says peace and security. How to make whatever in case, crime case or any cases, just you have to make the rule and of judgment is the peace. After that, security, peace and security. But we are also take the more care to the old age, and the government also we have to fight with the government. The government facilities, what are the fundamental rights and the fundamental duties we have to get from the government. We are also humanity activities serves to the people. Thank you. You are giving the good opportunities to me. Thank you very much, Adi.
Thank you, Mr. Barani. He presented the issues from India, what they are currently facing, mainly the corruption, abuses, etc. Right now, next, I feel honored to inviting His Royal Highness Ni Agene Nunu of Ebola Manse Atafoste of Ga State, Ghana. He attended Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration for Business Administration. His Royal Highness has traveled to many countries in the world, visiting USA, Europe, and other Middle East, amongst others. He also works with GFX of Canada and United States, where he gained significant experience in communication. Now he is the traditional leader of Ebola in Ga states. I welcome you to the floor. Thank you.
Okay, Raji. Hello,
Yeah.
Raji. I'll help you by introducing his name very well.
Yeah, please.
His Royal Highness Kini Ahine Nunu the Third, Abula Manche and Atofwache of Gun State, Ghana.
Thank you so much. I was practicing, but I didn't get it. Thank you. Please welcome him to the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Clear.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this meeting. Well, I might say or start with, it's better for us to care for our elderly, especially in our communities, because they've contributed a lot to the welfare of our community. And as such, we need to care for them, especially those with disability. Now, let's put it in this perspective. An elderly in the community has worked all over his life. And how do you care for them? Because they've worked and they've had experience in the world, we also need to tap some of their experience to be able for the youth to use it in developing a community. So why do we need to care for them? First of all, we need to care for them because isolation when you grow, the problem of having this care, we need to stop by isolating them and getting them depressed. We have to continue to provide them a sense of community, a social life that empowers and energizes them. So in this world, what we want to my community in which I rule, what I've been doing is we now select few of them, sit down, take care of them. How do we take care of them? We have how do I put it? Like a community-based meeting, which when they come, they give us experience throughout their life. So each and every year, what do we need to do? We take them out to see places, to educate them for the isolation to get the depression will be a little bit down so that they can move around with happiness. Now, we put them in a different way sometimes to let them know that they are special in a community. As the body ages, it becomes a prone to medical conditions. Prevent it. But we can learn how to deal with it, arising conditions that great health of our loved ones. Most health concerns for the elderly are diseases, among others. So how do we make sure that these diseases are being taken care of? Depression is part of it. And if you don't take time, the more we isolate them, the more depressed they become. And when they become depressed, that's why you see them dying early. So in our community, what we used to do is keep them busy and keep them with the young ones for them to teach them. They teach them skills, they teach them ethics, they teach them how to live in the world. And whenever, especially I did public administration, so I know a little bit about how we can use them as well. So we use them to educate whatever we want to do in the community. Especially some people who have been public administrators for a long time. So how do we tap their knowledge into the community to help the community to build, as well as how do we help the elderly as well for them to maintain their health, for them to live longer, for the community to develop and move on with a good work they've been doing. So in Ghana and in my community, we've been doing a lot with the elderly, taking them to sites, taking them, especially this Christmas, we came to one of the resorts, gave them whatever entertainment they need, be with their grandkids, be with the youth. The youth is the problem with Africans because most of them are jobless, but we can tap knowledge from the elderly. So now, how do we do it? We always say, these elderly, they need to be loved. They make this for you. We need to appreciate them. They are our parents. We need to make sure that they have some kind of need and belongingness. Get insight of their values. So those are reasons that we need to take care of our elderly, especially in our communities. And that is in my Ghana community, and that is Ebola. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, His Royal Highness, for your wonderful remark. So he focused on bringing awareness through education to take care of our elders in our community, and also how we can help them in the many ways. He also focusing, we need to learn to appreciate them. That's a good point. Thank you so much. To the United States National Science Foundation on early identification on emerging technology and education trends. Dr. Feinstein, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. I want to thank you all for this opportunity to share with you what we're doing, because what I've heard this morning is something that we all know. There are some problems out there, severe problems. And what we do, we are Planet Startup, an international NGO that does one thing, really. We create jobs. Through our partners, we help people create jobs, and what we say, they become job creating engines. So what we do is we have partnerships around the world where we work with these organizations, different regions, nations, and we help train others and so on. And these entrepreneurs go on into these rural areas, which we call them barefoot entrepreneurs, to actually help others create jobs. And in Ghana, for example, we have partners who have created thousands of jobs in the most rural areas. And somebody says, well, how does job creation deal with elder care, elder abuse, and those kinds of things? What we found is that when people have jobs, they're putting food on the table, a lot of the other problems go away, like forced marriages, crime, and other forms of abuse. And what's more important, the jobs that we help create, also through microfinance and things like that, because you just can't train somebody to create a job, turn them loose, and then say, well, go on, now start supporting your family. We create partnerships, microfinance, and things like that. For example, if somebody wants to, in a very rural area of Ghana, for example, raise poultry, or do fish farming and things like that, we'll help with the microfinance and things like that to make that happen. Now, also what occurs when that happens, that young adult, those are the ones we mostly work with, might have young families. They want to have young families. So then they start involving the parents to take care of the children, the grandparents maybe are helping out in what they're doing. In some cases, what we do, we help people raise bees. And then they harvest the honey, they do the other kinds of products that bees make. And there are other people that make those into cosmetics. There's a whole value chain, and we help them set up ways to export this. So what happens where we go to these meetings around the world and sit there, we hear people say, well, there's a problem here and there's a problem here, and they talk about it. What we like to do is point at the situations where you can actually make a difference and fix those problems. And we do, one person at a time, one family at a time. But as we get more and more people, more and more change is being made. For example, we go into the areas, say the northern areas of Ghana, where most people don't go, and help create jobs. And then those people help others create jobs, because the more jobs that they help create, the more income that they get. And then they involve their family members, the older individuals. And then what's really important, the older individuals are the ones that remember the old institutions. And they're the ones who will be talking to the grandchildren and bringing everything together to form more stable societies. We're also helping some countries in the area of technology, infrastructure, investment to help job creation. For example, if somebody invests in a high-speed internet in an area and then creates a development for real estate, business, and things like that, people will come. And it turns out that people get, or a country, a nation will get a much quicker return on investment in, say, investment in an internet than they will an investment on roads and things like that. You need both, but there's a way to kind of plan this to optimize things. We're helping a group in Cameroon develop a very high-tech university that way, all with the idea of local job creation, and then those universities become our partners. And the idea is that we provide the curriculum, the partnering, and the external infrastructure, but all our partners around the world are the ones who are actually doing the work. Like in the Congo, particularly, we have a group of individuals that focus on diabetics and teaching diabetics to be self-sufficient, because insulin is expensive there. A lot of them don't get what they need. So we're helping them create jobs and work with other partners to make sure they get the medications that they need. And then we work with their families. We try to integrate the families with the diabetics who we're working with to make it a kind of a complete solution. And again, I would invite anyone who would like to partner with us and just talk to us to give me a call, send me an email, and we can see how what we can do can partner with what you're doing and come up with some win-win opportunities. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. So he is focusing on creating more job and to get more finance help. Thank you so much for your wonderful contributions, Professor. Next, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Augustine Jegasodi, Settlement Counselor, Settlement Assistant and Family Support Service, Canada. As the head of office for International Committee of Red Cross and International Organization for Migration, he traveled to many countries in conflict, including Sudan, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Nauru Island, performing humanitarian activities. So right now, the floor is yours, Mr. Augustine Jegasodi. I welcome you.
Thank you, Raji. I believe that you all can hear me well and clear.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Raji said, my name is Augustine Jegasodi. I'm originally from Sri Lanka. I spend most of my time. And thanks again for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks for adding me in this session. And I wish you all the very good luck for your upcoming summit, ACCP. And very appropriately that you're hosting sessions like this, which will lead to you for a successful summit in March. I have heard lots of good points from different views, and I would like to add from my experience and through the struggles that I have myself gone through. Um, I worked with an international organization during the peak time of war in Sri Lanka, and I always had an opportunity to work with especially the vulnerable three categories, that's children, women, and seniors. I always see in the transition and refugee centers in Sri Lanka how seniors suffered. And also, they became the first victims, which has given really them a sad life. And also, if you take the other parts of the world like Africa and the Far East, some of these other South Asian countries also had the similar problem for the seniors. Especially in Sri Lanka, because of 3 decade internal conflict, the seniors really became very vulnerable and suffered a lot. Specifically, continuous displacement gave them a very, very saddest part. And throughout the war, on the landmines, strugglesome situations really forced them to run on a daily basis and forced them to live in the transition refugee shelters for years and years without many basic aspects in their life. So in Canada, we see the same struggle but in a different way. In, in Canada specifically, the language barriered seniors always becoming a victim. I have an opportunity to mainly work with the South Asian community here in Canada through my organization and also a church that I'm the part of that. So again, if we ask ourselves, the fellow, the seniors, are they enjoying the same facilities like our mainstream Canadians enjoying? So my answer would be no. There are lots of obstacles really forcing the language barrier seniors seeking those good facilities. So the Canada is a good country, so they provide all kinds of senior benefits and privileges through all levels of governments here in Canada. For example, federal they are providing, provincial level, municipal level, even city level, they have lots of other opportunities. I have a very good golden opportunity to be the part of the Markham Seniors Council Committee, as Mr. Councillor Manning said, through his experience in Brampton. And also, I very periodically taking part as a facilitator with many senior groups here in Scarborough and Markham. I don't know whether you have heard, it's a very, very, South Asian seniors living pocket in Greater Toronto area. So the main, the issue that we identified, it's isolation. So the isolation really forcing them to be away from many productive programs from different levels. And also the language barrier. As you all know, most of the migrant seniors, so they are the second, they studied in the back home English as a second language. And also it's a kind of, inside, struggles. So they don't want to express, or they really fear to express their inner struggle to the family members and the community as well. So I had a chance to meet a few seniors in the past, and I realized, that they were longing for the spiritual peaceful. And also I have seen many seniors became victims of domestic abuse from their own family members. It's true. some of the seniors, so they are shared in a confidential mode. So it's not nice to explain into very deep, but it's very sad to hear from their own family members. So that's the important part. That's we were trying to create awareness in the community and the seniors forums, how they can come out from this stressful situation. And also again the cultural conflict from their inter family members or the intergenerational family members in their own family. Even sometime, very sad to tell. So they are not respected by their own family members. So that's many times I saw seniors to cry. And also, as a part of a church, I see many seniors, they really want to be stick with more spiritual, activities and the church related activities, which it's blocked by their family members. In a nutshell, that they don't allow them to go out and mingle with the other members. So that's a huge problem. And again, this topic is it's community included as well, not only the seniors. So from the point of general community issues, so I would like to highlight the honor-based thoughts really leading them to many domestic issues here in Canada, especially in the immigrant seniors and community pocket. That's really a hidden, so it's not visible from, and this is happening in a hidden way inside the family. So that's really, that not only the honor based, there are lots of subsectors really lead them, like, accessing alcohol usage in the family. So that's triggered, a day-to-day conflict life in between husband and wife or the parents and children. So, and also there are some of good aspects also we noticed in the recent past, especially the pandemic. Especially I would like to highlight one of those. The seniors, they really became technologically savvy during this pandemic, because that's the only way that they can be connected each other or from their respective forums. So for the last 8 months, if you take 80% of seniors, they became technologically savvy, using all these technical devices in order to meet them virtually or see them communicate and all. So equally, there are some productive plus points also there in the community and the elders point. But how can we all, even that we periodically as an organization, I'm a part of a central federal funded agency here in Scarborough, which really gives me an opportunity to mingle, especially the South Asian, Middle Eastern, Far Eastern communities, to host forums, especially the abuse part and all. So if we really go into a little bit deep, the abuse part is the main, from my observation in the communities here. Especially, that I would like to highlight the physical abuse is still there in Canada, that considered as a crime, but I saw many seniors punished by their own family members, and so they have fear to tell, or they have fear to bring out those because of the honor, or the pride situation. And the second important thing, the own family members, they make their own seniors as the financial abuse victims as well. Without their consent, they always take money from their account. So the physical abuse, financial abuse, making them psychologically or emotionally victims, and also the exploitation, negligence, these are some of the other subsectors I would like to highlight. So it's a good initiative ACCP, what they have started now, and gathering information, collecting information from through life experience, people like us. And I hope this session is going to be really interesting, and I'm happy to be the part of this one. Thanks again, Raji and ACCP, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agustin Jegasodi, for the wonderful presentation. So he touched the issues of the language barrier and isolation and the abusive situation. So I see here that common problem everyone touched is isolation abuse situation. So thank you so much, Mr. Agustin Jegasodi again.
Alliance Creative Community Project, ACCP, headquartered in Canada, a member organization of the UN Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, presents to National Peaceful Coexistence Summit theme, Campaigning for Peaceful Coexistence Towards UN Sustainable Development Agenda. Participants include government officials, representatives of security agencies, traditional authorities, religious leaders, UN agencies, NGOs, the private sector, and the general public. The host is the president of ACCP, John Nanayao Ochri, and his vice, Nicole Bowen.
If you have questions, something, please click the raise hand so I know that you want to contribute, so I can call your name. So I think I'm going to voluntarily invite Mr. Agustin Jegasodi to start this discussion forum, so then everyone can contribute that. Thank you so much.
It's not really surprise, from the point of all our views and what we have touched and discussed. So it's really common, and the problems between the seniors living in a different country, what we have seen in Sri Lanka and what we are seeing here in Canada, how we can bring them into a next step, that's really key and important. So for example, in Sri Lanka, they do not have enough facilities, and even if the government and not-for-profit sectors coming forward to provide such information, the seniors we saw in the past failing to come forward because of their situation. So the countries like Canada and other, the Western countries, the government, so they have lots of funding opportunities, and also in their all levels, they have senior related, community related activities that's initiated by the government. And also that's the beauty that we can see. So they involved in all levels the representation of seniors. So I can tell you a small example. In Canada, there's a funding called New Horizons. It's from the Seniors Line Ministry of Federal Government, which really encourage seniors to host, organize a group, and the activities itself, the government or the funders expecting from the day one, from the level A, to organize by the seniors. We can see the beauty, from the day one, the seniors gather themselves to start to write an application. I saw many language barrier, seniors even they receive the funding, because the government and the levels of the government is encouraging seniors to come out, enjoy that facility. So that's a difference that I saw myself, and we have never seen any big advisors or a big scholars behind these projects and all. So the seniors themselves encouraged by the body, and also I saw the successful implementation after that. So that's the beauty. The group of seniors of 40, so they gathered themselves, and they have chosen the president, started to work on the funding, and in the middle, that they host seminars, they invite scholars, facilitators from the various streams to educate, create awareness in the language barrier seniors in their own language. So then I saw the 100% successful in the projects many times. So that's the really a crucial key part I would like to highlight. And also the abuse related, in the countries like Canada, so we can easily approach the regulatory body. So like police, or if there is any kind of crime that we noticed, definitely that we can immediately bring the attention of, there are lots of social workers, there are lots of crisis related workers. That's really make the work easy here in Canada. So that my number one point, how the resources are using by the seniors, and how the resources are available for the community, even if they are in the the isolational situation, or if they are in an abuse situation. We don't need to be remain silent. So the facilities are available, and the success rate, how we are approaching and utilizing those parts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone who would like to contribute next, or any question, whatever he addressed now?
Yes, Raji.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for everyone's contribution. I guess we've spoken very well, and I'm learning from it, and the ACCP executives are also learning from it. And we shall put all these things into practice and make it active. Okay, I would like to touch on the seniors. As Professor Jared was talking, he was saying that we should be very careful and be so sure that we don't reject the seniors, which I believe Garnet Mannen also was also touching the same thing, and all of us, everybody was talking about the seniors. One thing that I have noticed in this world, in our modern world, is that because we rejected our seniors thinking they are inactive, we might not know that the former researchers or the medical officers or the strong institutions that were there back at the days, they will be able to help us in finding vaccine today. But the reason why all these things has happened, that we couldn't even find a vaccine, or we couldn't find solution to the COVID. I'm talking about the COVID-19, the disease that we have currently, because the experts that were back at the days that they have the knowledge, they've worked for so many years, that they were into offices, that they resign or they retire. We have neglected them, and we are forgetting to bring them on board. We're forgetting to bring them into active to support the current doctors to find solution to the problems that we are facing currently. And if I would say this, I am speaking to end this way, that we should have bring all those seniors. If we would have been taking care of them, like now we're talking about taking care of the elderly people, or we kept them somewhere safe, or we bring them into everything that we do, or we keep them active in everything that we do, they would have been able to advise, serve as an advisory board or advisory committee, to advise on even the researchers or the technical expertise that are working on the vaccine or looking for solution to this sickness. But they have all been rejected because they said they are what? They are retired. So nobody's paying attention to our elderly people or the seniors. But let's not forget that those people also have experience in their various capacities. So neglecting seniors like the way some of us are talking about, I believe is not the best. And let's try to invest in our seniors and keep them safe so that we'll all enjoy the peace that all of us are really enjoying today. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Anyone? Okay, so here I see someone raise hand, but it's listed here iPhone, so I don't know the name. Please, yeah, present your question or discussion. Yeah.
I think Iqbal's also raising his hand, but he's not using the thingy.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I saw that iPhone. He raised hand, but I'm not too sure who that is.
I raised my hand, Iqbal.
Okay, go ahead, please, sir.
Can I?
Yeah, you go ahead, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Listening to all these discourses brought my mind back to the kind of elders with whom we are working in UK. We have an association of Tamil-speaking elders of Southend in UK. And some of the reasons that prompted us to form this association and the problems that we came to know these people are facing are very much similar to what Father Augustine Jegasod had been speaking. Fortunately, he is also involved with elders in Canada who had been displaced or who had shifted to Canada from Sri Lanka, just as we in UK, in Southend, we are also dealing with elders who have come here to UK either on their own or being brought down by their siblings here. And these elders who had shifted from their own homeland had always expected to be moving into a place what they thought would be heaven. They thought they are going to have the best of life here, only to realize after coming here that they would have been happier back home in their own country in spite of all the problems they are having there. So among the things that we find that bothers the elders most is loneliness. They come here because of the absence of the knowledge of the local language, English, in my case. They find that they are even unable to communicate with the neighbors. When the people in the house go out for the day, many of them children go to school, the sons or siblings go for work. They are all left all alone in the house. Sometimes it's just one person or a couple of elders. They find themselves thoroughly bored. They don't get a chance even to go to a temple for a week, which they long to do. There's nobody to take them. When they fall sick, they can't go to the hospital alone. Somebody has to take them along with an interpreter because they can't tell their illness to the doctor to get treatment. Such is the problem that we found. So this association that I'm talking about, I'm just giving it as an example so that we might think of where others might have the same thing. We try to get them together. Unfortunately, Corona intervened and our regular meetings, which we had almost a year before, have been disrupted. When we meet, the elders meet, the elderly men and women. That's a joyous day for them. We bring them down, get together, and they have lots of things common. Some of them did not know that person from their adjoining villages, although they are in that area. Only at that meeting that they find people known to them are there. That's because when they are brought here, they're confined to their homes and they hardly get a chance to intermingle with others from their own community who had moved into those areas. So similar problems are there. They don't get a chance to go to the temple. They don't even get a chance to display their skills. Some of them are very good in cooking. Some are good in singing. They never get an audience. Nobody bothers about them. So this problem must be very common, I think, among most of the elders. So I have a suggestion to make. I don't know whether it's worthwhile considering. We are like a group of doctors discussing the problems of patients. Why not we give a chance to the patients to come and talk in a forum like this? At least a representative group. get the elders down in a Zoom meeting like this. Let them come and interact. I'm sure at least 3 of the representatives here have elders Tamil speaking, common language. There may be others, Ghanaians or Ugandans. The elders also come, and perhaps we could arrange some interpreters to help them to bring it to a common language and give them a chance to express their feelings. Give them a chance to make them feel they are important. Let them know that there are people talking about their problems. Let them know that somebody is concerned about their problems. I hope I'll be able to interact with some of the other elder organizations. Perhaps Rajiv will facilitate that, to contact Father Jagaswadi or the doctor from India. His name is not appearing on the screen, so I forgot his name. And from Ghana, somebody was speaking. If there are associations of elders in these countries, of the participants who are here, let us see whether we have any common problems. Let us talk to among ourselves. Let us build bridges and see whether the problems elders face are common in different parts of the world, or are they different in different parts. I'm sure there'll be a lot of common problems, and there'll be at least one way in which we can break their loneliness by facilitating them to come out and talk out to them, and then continue to have communications with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Iqbal. So any others want to continue, or any question to Mr. Iqbal?
Raji, Dr. Fierson raised his hand.
I didn't see in my, okay, please. Yeah, I didn't see in my screen. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, I think these are very good points, but what I've noticed, for example, there's a lot of common problems, but there's a lot of problems that are different. For example, in a very rural area of Ghana, also Benin, you sit down and you talk to one of the local kings. And in there, you'll see all the king's advisors, and those are the elders of this community. And then you have the family members all the way down, and everybody knows the hierarchy, so to speak, you know, and how that works. You have, and that seems to be successful. The only challenge is, and again, we're a one-trick pony. We're into job creation. We think that's going to solve a lot of problems because a lot of things are a resource problem. Then if we take a look at, say, areas of the United States, Canada, Western Europe, you see a situation where some communities, you'll have a senior community, maybe 55 and older, some are retired, some are not, but in there they have, you could, wood shops, machine shops, hobbies, play cards, shoot pool. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Plus, you could kind of go where you want. The only difference is it's that set of people. They have things set up where your family can come and visit, and you can kind of go what you want. You have other parts of the U.S. and other communities that don't have that. And then you have maybe in very rural areas, you have the family, that takes care of everything. But in other parts too, because of many times, as many of you know, you go through this period where you have kids and then you spend a lot of time on your job and you kind of ignore your kids a little bit, and you're kind of off doing your thing, making a lot of money. And then you go and you retire somewhere and then your kids start ignoring you. There's a reason. You've heard of that, how that works. So really what I like to do, and I kind of posted it in the chat, we're talking about the problems. There's real problems. The problems I think are different, but there are a few common ones. And I look at it in a very focused way in terms of, resources, because when you have sufficient resources, many of the problems do go away, particularly when it's pharmaceuticals for the aged, and that sort of thing. But what I would be interested in for the group here and their future groups is what have your organizations done and where are your successes and how do you actually assess success? Because we're very much into that. Because in the beginning, we were just kind of doing things and then people started asking, well, how well are you doing? And how do you know how well you're doing? So I'd like to open it up for those kinds of thoughts and discussions if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Next, Mr. Garnet Manning raised his hand. Please go ahead.
So thank you very much again. And I decided I would come back on just to share a little bit because I believe that not only are we focusing on some of the very important aspects of enhancing the lives of our seniors, but also we're focusing on some specifics and things that we can do. So I'll go back to when I was involved with Brampton as a city councillor. Of course, my passion, certainly at the time, were our youth and our seniors. So I was very actively involved. I was privileged to have been the councillor in the north end of Brampton, which is called Springdale Castlemore, where 65 to 75% of the constituents were from the South Asians community, primarily Hindu, Punjabis, and so on and so forth. Because at the time in Brampton, and still is, we were very serious about how we engage our seniors, and there was certainly a great interest in ensuring that their lives were enhanced. The South Asian community really led the way in teaching us how seniors interact. So there were lots of seniors council within that community among the seniors. In my wards alone, there were about 10 to 15 seniors councils, and those were based primarily, seniors club rather, and those were placed primarily within certain geographical areas. And they were formal. There were president, vice president, there were meetings, there were secretaries, they raise funds, they do their activities. We encourage that within the broader community where you have, like me, I'm from the Caribbean community, and there were several Caribbean seniors clubs, and the list goes on, Filipino Seniors Club, because Brampton was so diverse and we were very interested in focusing on our cultural diversity as a form of building a community. So there were those clubs that were formed, and that was a constant interaction of these seniors together. Now, at the time when I got elected, Brampton parks were pretty much a place where people come to with their kids to play and go home. But the Punjabi seniors were unique in that they love to, they like to congregate within the park settings as mostly men and women to interacting, playing cards and all the different games they play. So I initiate a plan to make sure we have picnic benches within the parks and also washroom within the parks, because the seniors are in the park sitting down. If they need to go to the washroom, they can't get home. And it unfortunately, it was actually a breaking point on how a different innovative approach to our cities. And we were able to get it down amid some of the constituents weren't accustomed to that. But I believe that it was important for us as politicians to grow with our constituents or community as it evolved. And along with those small groups, the city created what we call a senior center. And once a week, all the seniors clubs can come together within that one center to interact, and staff and volunteers would engage them in various ways. That at least eliminate a number of that isolation situation we're dealing with. It takes resources of transportation and so on and so forth. So that's where charitable organization come in, and goodwill from community coming in, understanding the situation within our seniors. So it's all about community, goodwill, community understanding. And it breaks our heart when we know that our seniors are trapped and being abused by their own family. We have to find a way to be able to intercept those situations and change it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Manning. I thought, Patrick, you raised your hand. Patrick, can you hear me?
He's still on mute.
He is on mute, yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you have any question? Okay, go ahead,
Yes, I
please.
have a question.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my question goes to Ni Abulache, who spoke earlier concerning within the Gan state, and then it also goes to Dr. Gerard Festin. I would like to know, especially in Ghana, we don't have a lot of facilities, especially, for instance, recreational facilities where places, centers where these seniors, these old elder people or elderly people could go and then once in a while have fun and all that. I would like to know from me what long-term measures does he think that as a state we should put in place, or he and his people within the Gan state or the Abola Manche constituency or community will put in place? What long-term measures will be put in place so that this issue of isolation, neglect, and all that can be solved? And then the same question also goes to Dr. Gerard Festin. What are some of the long-term measures can we put in place so that we can be able to eradicate or at least bring to the barest minimum some of these things? Thank you.
Okay, what I'd like to say that we've looked at this because, and we've had experience in Africa, but we've also had some experience in Costa Rica, where we kind of got into advising on technical infrastructure that makes a difference. And one of the things that we're actually looking at, I've got some pictures I shared last week, but I don't have them with me now on this computer, but it's in this village in northern Ghana. I think it's Tamale, if you're familiar where that is. And it's fairly rural, where we were at least. And we were looking at the ability, in fact, we've got set up fairly good internet connections there. And it turned out that, we focus on job creation. We're using the internet for those kinds of purposes. But we also found out that once we get that set up, the elderly get very curious and all of a sudden are really getting involved in it and picking it up a lot quicker than you might think, becoming very entertained, understanding very quickly what email is. And this is fabulous because mail doesn't work well where we go. And this is a kind of a fabulous thing. And other things, and there's something that some people may or may not know about. There's an application on the internet called Second Life, where you can meet people around the world. You have avatars and things like that. The elderly have, for some reason, picked that up more than the younger people did. And that was set up really for younger people to fool around with. And they're just having a good time. Now, what's interesting about that, which I talk about, if you want to develop real estate, if you want to bring businesses in and things like that, having a good, not technology infrastructure, but just high-speed internet that has a global reach, that'll bring businesses, banking, and things like that to some very disconnected areas. This is some very sharp people that know how to make money once you get that kind of infrastructure. So you can convince governments and organizations to build that if they can see, one, they're going to make a lot of people happy, get votes, and two, they're going to make a profound difference, but it's going to happen quickly and people understand what's going on quickly and get that good feedback. So that's one of the things that I've seen actually works, and you get a very good return on investment that way. Thank you.
So, Patrick, you got the answer?
Yes, yes, I'm very pleased with the answer.
Okay. So next,
Wonderful submission.
yes, he's online.
Raji,
Yeah,
I guess the king is having problem with his
yeah,
network, so
that's what I'm
it's logged
thinking
out
too.
and he's trying to come online. So if he's able to reconnect, then we'll let him answer that. So
Yeah.
you can move to the, I can see there is one person raising hand there. Okay.
Yep,
Raji,
that's
over to you.
iPhone. Go ahead, please. Your mic is muted.
Good
Yeah.
day. I'm Albert. Yeah, concerning what Patrick wanted to ask Mr. Ni, I think it's all about putting down good infrastructures and recreational centers for the seniors. I think that's what we can do to eradicate those things that we are going through, yeah, in Ghana. You get me?
Thank you. Raji?
Hello?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying concerning what Mr. Patrick wanted to ask me, it's all about putting down good infrastructures to eradicate those bad systems that we have here, for we to access good resources for our seniors.
And please, your name?
I'm Albert from Ghana.
So who is answering for this?
Mr. Patrick wanted to ask Mr. Ni, but unfortunately for Mr. Ni, he's not online now.
Yeah, so he's not here right now.
Yeah.
Anyone like John? Anyone who is appropriate?
So Raji, I guess I'll answer him.
Okay.
Because we work directly with the king,
okay,
the chiefs and the traditional authorities in Ghana and let's say in West Africa. I could say that the questions that they are answering, they're asking, we're going to wrap them up and then send it to them so that they could be able to come up with it, come up with a good answer, so we could communicate with them, if that would be okay, because I don't think I will be in a good position to answer a question for the king, because I'm in Canada. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, John. So right now, I think we can touch a little bit already what we addressed here. Mr. Iqbal, he was bringing a good point that we can arrange a meeting with the common language with the elders so they can share and they can see the common problem. They are facing the problem. That is a common problem around the world. So it is not only some people thinking they are the one only facing the problem, right? So that is a really good idea what he was presenting today. So anyone want to touch more about this idea what he brought? So anyone wants to say more, or anyone thinking that this idea is a good idea or we can implement and that kind of thing?
Patrick has raised his hand.
Yeah, Patrick, you want to say anything?
Yes, I want to add something.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. What I want to add is that in Ghana, if you look at the seniors, as we're talking about, the problem is more, or is deeper when it comes to gender, when it comes to the women, the elderly women. And so we have a system where women are regarded as weaker people, or we really give priority, or we give some kind of respect to the men compared to the women. And so even when it comes to sharing of properties, sharing of incentives, sharing of a lot of things that could help improve their lives, you realize that the men take the bigger share. For instance, recently I visited a village, in my village, where some investors came down to acquire a land, a huge land, about 300 acres of land to grow the passion fruit. And as a clan. The money needed to be distributed among all families. The men had their share, the elderly men, the seniors, the men within the senior setup had their share, but the women were neglected. And you could see it has really deepened the poverty level over here. And so what I want to suggest is that our resource persons, most of them, as Dr. Gerard Feston said, most of you, or those of you who will be coming down to Ghana, and I'm sure some other African countries, these things should be looked at. And that even within the seniors, there are classes where the women are looked down upon in terms of sharing or giving some kind of help or some kind of support to them. And it's very critical that we must all look at and then see how we can solve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patrick. So anyone want to answer to this, or we go?
Raji?
Yeah, I have a thought to be shared. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
After listening to some of the suggestions that were made subsequently, I get a feeling that we have to draw a line between elders who have left their own country and sought refuge in other countries and the problems they are facing there, and the problems of the elders who are in their own country. I think the problems will be a little different. So if amongst us, among those of us that are present here, we have links with any elders who have been displaced from their own country and left their country and come out hoping for a better life, finding that they are having different problems here, they should be approached from a different angle than the problems of those who are living back home in their own country. So if we are planning anything to bring about an interaction with them, I suggest that we should divide this group because the problems are different. And maybe at some other stage we could bring them together. But initially, if we are going to see whether the commonalities between the problems faced by elders who have left their own country and the communities of the elders who are in their own country, they should be assessed differently. And then when the time comes, if necessary, we could bring them together. This is an idea for for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Anyone wants to contribute to this?
Raji, Dr. Augustine, yeah.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead, please.
Thank you again. You know what I have heard. I have a little bit, thoughts. After hearing, a few suggestions from Mr. Iqbal and the former councillor Manning, so we can little bit touch in a depth about the programs, how it's look alike. And for example, I can tell, the successful implementation that I can witness, the involvement of the group members and how they are used by the donors or the, the funding, the source. I can tell one good example that I have seen in Sri Lanka. There are lots of successful program run by, the woman-headed, also the woman-based organization. So they know the real value. So they know the real implementation pattern to take that project successful. In a similar way that I have seen the seniors here in Canada, so they design the program. It's called senior-led program. So they normally, that there is no any other involvement. We cannot see any other pressurized elements coming from out them to force to do this and this. So this is senior-oriented, senior-led projects. That's really, we can witness the successful of this program. So I can talk little bit brief, teaching them the life skill experience. Many time I saw the successful candidates of that projects, like, life skill experience means providing them the successful tips on how they can budget on day-to-day, their daily, budgeting or the financial, that really help them to come out from the financial struggling through saving. And again, it's a small life skill like cooking, making a little bit, the snacks and all, which help them to give a small income generation. And also the second important part, helping them to boost their mental health and physical health through providing appropriate information. How can they read the labels in the in the packets or the bottles? So the value pack. Again, there are lots of other, like the tailoring, stitching, which help them to make their own little bit clothes and all. So ultimately, overall objective of the group, or the members of that, it's finally they would like to eradicate everything at the end of that project. And I saw there are lots of seniors, they succeed. And I'm coming back to Mr. Iqbal's point. Here, yes, that's available, to separate or differentiate the language barrier or the immigrant seniors separately from the mainstream Canadian. So that's always the donors expect the project how it's going to be according to their own lifestyle, their own criteria, so they can set up. There is no forcing style here, so the immigrant seniors needs to act like the mainstream. No, it's not like that. So they are fully freedom to work according to their, because they knows, the donors and the government knows how the migrant seniors are lacking with English. So they always allowed to do the programs in Tamil or Punjabi according to their their own speaking language. And so they also allowed to use translators as much as, in order to bring the total value of that project objective. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a good point. And next, anyone wants to contribute, or we can even touch about a little bit what Dr. Professor bringing, creating job. So it also is coming from I think I'm familiar with the Sri Lanka and India. So a lot of seniors, they abused or they have to depend on their children, and a lot of people are struggling in finance at the old age. So we see so many things going on. Dr. Gerard, he was pointing out creating job for the elders. So anyone wants to contribute a little bit in that topic, or we can move forward in the common issues that we are finding. Okay, so everyone is quiet. So yeah, so we have 15 minutes, so we can add more to this forum. So, and I have so anyone wants to
Raji?
talk? Sorry, okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Raji. Yeah, so I believe looking at what we have really discussed today, I am thinking next time, in our next meeting, being the political arena, or let's say at the field of the politics, bringing the politician together. We'll bring the authorities, and then maybe we can see if we could chip in a bit about the seniors. So we bring either the police chief, immigration, and most of the ministers, so that they could help in tackling this kind of situations, or what we have at hand. That's what, at least, since nobody's talking, I just want to chip in this. So anybody that has
Thank
anything
you.
to
Yeah, so we need to move. We need to, I think, create a project and how we are going to move forward. So basically, whatever we talk today, so we are gaining a lot of knowledge and good advices and suggestions. So we need to put them together, and then we go from there. So I still am thinking the internet, we don't have everywhere. In Canada, we are blessed, and some other countries we are blessed. But thinking in Sri Lanka, we don't have internet facilities. Even India, many areas, we don't have internet facilities. So even the students, they are also struggling to study, right? So we cannot plan everything like, we can bring them together virtually. I don't think it's everything is possible. I think it depends on where. So in Canada, I think we can plan or bring together an idea. Virtually, we can do a lot because of the facilities that we have. I don't know in Ghana, but in Sri Lanka, in India, it's very difficult. So that's the reality. So, okay, thank you. Thank you so much, all the valuable contribution. I think next,
Raji,
yeah.
Augustine is raising hand. So if you give him a
Why
few
I'm not
minutes.
seeing from my side? Okay, go.
I
No,
think
I am seeing it. Okay,
when
go
you were
ahead,
looked
please.
down, I raised my hand. That's why.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, go
Okay, I
ahead.
will, I would like to add two quick comments quickly before we wrap up. I would like to welcome the Canadian representative ACCP said, always it's productive to include the political view and regulatory body views. That's really good. And I also can, add few points from their view. As we brought, the representative from regulatory bodies in our sessions, which was really productive. For example, the legal issues, especially one of the demandable from the seniors side. Most of the seniors, they do not have enough knowledge to how to write the wills and states during their final. So we periodically bring the facilitators from the legal side to elaborate all those things. And again, the police, if there is any the domestic issues arise in the family, so they don't need to be really remain in silence. So they can call, so they can talk to the community based police officer, which is available 24/7. So these are some of the real. And also, bringing in the political side from the federal or provincial will give you more information about the seniors funding, the seniors resources, where is that available, senior services and all. And my second note, it's related to Dr. Gerard Feinstein, and I'm not clear what he's expecting exactly, the employment part for seniors. So we do have a program, successfully implemented in the past, encouraging seniors, to make ways to get a little bit income generation, because after retirement life, it's not really ideal to encourage them to go for job or anything, but according to the level of their mobility or the according to their level of physical strength, so they can choose how they can work with the little income generational activity. For example, we trained a group how to pack small snacks and sell with the with the real the Canadian the business value packs and the samples, labels and all, which was very successfully, as I think Raji might have known, that in Sri Lanka, that was the best part, the little mixtures and snacks, packaging and selling. So the lots of seniors from that background. So that's what we encourage them, and which has given them a reasonable income. So if Dr. Gerald wants, so he can contact me later through my number. So I would definitely happy to share my experience with him. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honestly, we tried with the
So what I'd like to do is kind of respond to that in a second. What we found, which is right, we found each area is different because the customs in, say Ecuador is very much different from the culture in East Africa, which is different from West Africa, and in the rural areas and the city areas. So what we found, in some areas we would focus on family businesses. In other areas, that's not the case, but the person has to be willing to do. Sometimes people understand there's a problem, but really don't feel like they want to put forth the effort. and other people do. Some people want to start a business. Some people want to work in a business, you know, get a salary. So everybody's different and the solutions are different, and we can't do it in the same way everywhere. So let's talk offline. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. That's true.
Okay, Raji.
Yeah.
Okay, I think before Rajini Iqbal will come in, I would like to say this. Please, anyone who will welcome any form of information or document that could be shared with us so that it will help in facilitating or it will help in coming up with a project. Because I believe most of us have ideas and we have documentations at the background. If you have it, we share the email, or you can contact Raji directly, or we share our office emails there. You can really send the information so that we could really use it to support whatever that we're doing. Thank you very much. Raji?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Rajini Iqbal raised her hand. If you could give her the opportunity.
Yep.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, please.
This is very recently in Sri Lanka, under the seniors income generation project. One of the organization in UK, the Center for Community Development Center, they introduced for the female seniors, 20 or 30 people got together, organized Jasmine Farm. The organization support to the income and the organizing support, but they in a 6 months time, now every members got it 2,000 rupees per month, this Jasmine Farm. In the Corona period, maybe this is their income is less. In the later, they will get more income. This is another program like in Sri Lanka, there are 90,000 war widows. It's some of the war widows, the other people, donors support to the widows, start income generation and help at least 1 or 2 senior without income people. You know that Sri Lanka government support like seniors, $3, that is a minimum amount, is the maximum. There are circumstances and other problem. There are more maximum. The money is $10. This is not enough for the 1 or 2 days they are living. Is that kind of situation. This is the people they are helping to, like the project, combined projects, they are helping to the senior people. In one of the organization in Serendip Children Home, they introduce in a one food package, like 1,500 Sri Lankan rupees, is like £8 in UK, and they organize the people every month like food parcel. This is this kind of problem. You know, the internationally, this is in the senior people recognize, and international, they also there. At least the internationally level, minimum the people living. Like in UK, you know, 670 pounds for the seniors, like a pension credit. And in other countries also, Canada also, they look after very well. This kind of country, that Sri Lanka, like of country, very poor. The people also suffer from this war and other things. The lot of North and East, they lost their children in the war, and nobody look after them. And because of this situation, in like this kind of forum, is a in the internationally, they help to the people at least like not 600 pounds, 700 pounds, at least $100 or 100 pounds like that. The people live peacefully. Otherwise, they are without food. Lot of in one of the area in Trincomalee, they are the village. The people are beggars. They are going to get some like a temple in other places, like beg and live. We are fight for this kind of situation in the poor countries like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Ratnipal. So right now it's 10:55. It is time to wrap up. So I'm going to invite Mr. William Patterson, the project director of ACCP Canada, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yes, thank you. I would like to express my appreciation for all of you attending the second advisory meeting discussing the topic of the need to care for elders and the community to build peace. I really appreciate His Royal Highness Miyahina Nuno III, King of Abona Matsli and Atufosa, sorry for mispronouncing, from Guyana, for his desire of caring for the elders. We need to provide an integrated community to address the isolation of elders, and addressing depression will improve resistance to other disease. These were very good points that were brought up. And another one was the youth need to appreciate and value the elders. That is a very true statement. Further, we are grateful to Dr. Gerald Feinstein for his insight on job creation, improving the elderly, providing economic development to the working members to promote the affordability of elderly care. And also, as the family becomes successful, they tend to include the seniors to support their productivity. It also provides opportunities for the seniors to strengthen society by passing on their knowledge to the youth. And a great thank you to Mr. Garnet Manning for developing the whole family with intergenerational engagement. The two most valuable resources, senior and youth, must constructively come together. Having formal methods through governments and other means will promote societal and personal development, which encourages peace. I may also like to express my sincere thanks to Mr. Augustin Jegossi, for providing excellent eyewitness experience on seniors that have been the first victims in areas of conflict. Also highlighting parallels within Canada where seniors are not enjoying the same facilities as everyone else, mainly due to language barriers. And the main issue within seniors being isolation, and addressing this will improve the seniors' lives. Language restrictions making it difficult too. I also wish to express my gratitude to Paul Barentham for providing an enlightening perspective of government responsibility in the care of the elderly. The working level people are trying to survive and having trouble caring for seniors and their family as they're trying to survive. And the government is more focused on those who are contributing to the economy, which thus leaves the seniors with only the leftovers, and this needs to change, and in order to provide fundamental rights to all. I'm also very grateful to Ms. Rajani Iqbal for contributing views regarding society's perspectives of elders, recognizing that society undervalues the knowledge and experience of the elders and consequent treatment causing psychological harm. Using the elders within the community to promote peace building can be quite constructive. And we also like to acknowledge our gratitude to all the members of ACCP and others who have participated in this event, making it a wonderful success, as well as many thanks to Raji Patterson for hosting this session. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Mr. Patterson. So once again, I thank you for all participating in our meeting today and providing a valuable thought. So we will meet again. So have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, Raji. Thank you to
you.
all. Thank you, and wanakam.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
taught
Thank
him
you to you
Vanakkam.
all Thank you.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
are all grateful for this opportunity.
Mhm.
So yeah, thank you. Augustine Anna.
சொல்லுங்க எப்படி நல்லா இருந்ததா?
Super Anna. So thank you so much. Next one, I think
We are sorry,
plan.
first of all, we are talking in Tamil.
They
Yeah,
have to
of
learn.
course.
They have
That's
to learn
okay.
Tamil to understand our conversation.
I understand the Tamil. I understand.
Okay.
I am good with it. I understand very clear.
Here, John, we have Mrs. Rajani Iqbal. She also Tamil, and Augustine
Wow,
Anna
beautiful.
also Tamil. The Anna mean is a brother, okay? So we
Oh,
call
Purunanna.
Akka, so sister and brother.
Wanakam, Rajni, Iqbal.
Vanakkam, vanakkam.
So,
Okay, Patrick, how are you?
Great. I'm doing great. I'm doing
Very
great.
good.
I really enjoyed the
I know.
conference.
I know.
Alliance Creative Community Project, SACP, headquartered in Canada, a member organization of the UN Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, presents to National Peaceful Coexistence Summit theme, Campaigning for Peaceful Coexistence Towards UN Sustainable Development Agenda. Participants include government officials, representatives of security agencies, traditional authorities, religious leaders, UN agencies, NGOs, the private sector, and the general public. The host is the president of ACCP, John Nanayao Ochiri, and his vice, Nicole Bowen.